Don't let your 2025 fantasy football season be one that's filled with regret. Instead, leave your draft with our top 6 must-have players. All this and more. It's a brand new IBT podcast coming right at you.
I've been going dummy, out of bounds, putting on a clinic. Stick around, carrots in my hardware. KC, caught him in the crosshair. Look at me, been the guy calling Mr. MVP. Keep your ass on the bench by my MPC. Earn my stripes like I fix this league. Your dog's on the turf, my dog's in the street. You can find me somewhere in between. Never a dull moment like a movie scene. About to do the ops like I did this beat. Let them keep talking RG3. Coming to you live. This is the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast.
All right, and welcome into the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast, your place for both a refreshing and feel-good take on fantasy football and NFL gambling. It's officially the biggest draft weekend of the year as folks from everywhere and anywhere return to the fantasy football streets for another lap around, and we'll relish in it in this episode with our all-in selections. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, fired up and ready to go as my home league, the Keg. We'll have our annual golf scramble followed by our draft party this Sunday. As always, I think it's just maybe perhaps the best day of the year. Really looking forward to seeing the boys. A couple of them, I haven't seen them really maybe since last year's draft. So looking forward to that. And joining me today is the usual suspects. He's a big business, light ranch and son of gun. He's Eric Romoff. What's going on, Tex? Are you feeling those fall vibes yet down south?
No, fall is merely a pipe dream in southern central Texas. It is still incredibly hot out here, but the closest sensation that I do get to fall weather is football being right around the corner. This is the time of year where we have that little gap in the preseason action, and I start to panic about my best ball exposures, about only having 1 or 2 drafts left to do, and I start saying yes to more leagues and jumping into more best ball tournaments. So I'm over here trying to smooth out those exposures left and right.
I actually had that funny thing happen where I scaled back on leagues last year. I got invited to a couple more this year. I said no to them. And then turns out a couple of my, I don't want to say long-standing leagues, but a couple of leagues I've been in for 2 or 3 years with some industry experts didn't end up coming back. So I was like, oh, now I feel bad that I did say did say no to a couple of those leagues, including one ran by our very own NFL and entertainment betting expert here at IBT, the internet's favorite Kyle Pittstan, Boston's boy, Steve Lawson. Steven, how are you as we get ready for another draft weekend?
I'm great. I'm thriving. I have my home league draft this Sunday. I am psyched. I had a contract league auction just last week. I went to New York this past weekend. I saw Lady Gaga for my birthday. Yep. Literally living the dream right now. For anyone who's ever debating seeing Lady Gaga, just fork over the money, go see it. It's like, I am not like a religious human being, but like I got it in that moment. You know what I mean? Like I sat there and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. God is real, and she is a woman, and it's Lady Gaga on stage. So.
Well, hey, man, it looks like you're all vibes headed in the right direction as we approach draft season. So looking forward to that. Happy you're here and happy you had a great weekend out there with Gaga. On the sticks behind the scenes is our resident Yinzer, Ginger, and former IUP Crimson Hawk. He's Kyle Scott. Kyle, is it starting to feel like football season out there in the Berg for you?
Oh, yeah. All the Yinzers out here are ready to rumble into Heinz Field. Everyone still calls it that out here. It's 70 degrees. It's autumnal weather. They're ready to roll. Baseball season was over in May. Hockey season, who gives a hoot about that? It's Steelers Nation.
Steelers Nation, yeah. You'll be down there at Akershire, down on the shore here in no time, baby. Looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Steelers. Yeah, hey, there you go. As always, before we get into the show, followed by we're also going to do some Would You Rather at the end with some NFL preseason risers, fallers. We also have some back to college best movie rankings for you. Wanted to shout out the IBT family who's tuning in with us. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. Make sure you're also subscribing if you're new. Come be a part of our story. Looks like we have Michael checking in with us saying, hello, fellas. It's almost time for real football. I cannot wait. Let's go. What's up, Mike? Great to see you tonight, man. Thanks for tuning in. And Ben giving us the wave as well. What's going on, Ben? Excited to have you hanging out with us as well. Also, if you guys want more of us, please consider joining the IBT football family. That's our premium community where you're going to get access to our memorabilia giveaways, our Q&As, live shows that are going to be hosted by Ben and our boy Phil in the Discord. You can also join the conversation with myself, Eric, Steve, Kyle, everyone from IBT and some of our closest friends. You're also going to get access to our weekly picks and predictions. So we've put our full betting cards in there for you, and also access into our touchdown contest. Make your picks alongside us, move up the leaderboard each week, and try to get yourself a Dynasty Dex plaque for the prize. Only $3.99 per month or $36 for the year. You're also going to get access into our NASCAR family, and more sports are on the way. Link to that all in the episode description as always. So looking forward to that. Steve, how do you think you're going to fare on the touchdown contest this year? Like, where's like the line where you're satisfied?
Winning. It's win or bust. I grew up on Tiger Woods, man. Like, it's not, you can't aim to lose. You can't be satisfied with failure. I mean, we're in this to win this, right? And that's where all the money is. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough there. Before we get going, I wanted to tell you about our newest partner, myTickets. myTickets is on a mission to save $4 million on tickets this year alone by helping you buy at the right time. Their auto buy feature automatically tracks ticket purchases so you can make sure that you are buying at the right time. You can try their buy now tracking, which notifies you when tickets are projected to be at their absolute cheapest so you can save the most. Whether you're trying to attend your favorite sporting event, maybe an NFL game, a concert, a festival, Lady Gaga, Steve, you could have saved a little bit on your Lady Gaga. Also musicals or plays, myTickets has you covered. Go to mytickets.com, use the promo code IBT to start saving up to 20% or more on your next event. Just heard from our editor-in-chief, Ariel. She just got some hockey tickets over there on myTickets for a pretty good deal. So, Steve, I don't think we were partnered with myTickets when you got your Gaga tickets. Is that the case here?
Yeah, no, I got those back in March. I mean, I would have loved to have saved some money on them, but at the same time, you know, I gotta pay her for what she does, right? I want to pay her fair value. So, but a good savings, you know, for someone who, you know, lives on a bit of a budget sometimes. You know, I'm a baller on a budget. You gotta get those tickets at the best price.
Man, does she have a residency up there?
No, she was it was in New York City. She's going around the country on a tour right now.
See. I'm heading up to New York around the holidays, so I'll be hitting up myTickets for some Broadway shows, and I was going to add Lady Gaga to my list, but I guess I'll have to catch her somewhere else.
Snooze, lose, baby.
She might be doing the stadium tour by then. Who knows?
Maybe you can get yourself some tickets to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's wedding. Maybe that'll be on myTickets.
Oh, dude, I'm standing in that wedding. I'm part of the party.
There we go.
I'd love to officiate it. I'm ordained. Just putting that out there.
Okay, all right. Well, let's fire things up, guys. A little front and center, and get into our all-in selections. Maybe my favorite episode of the season. Let's go.
Sometimes taking that first step out the door is the hardest thing to do. Give it a chance, you'll be begging for more. Save the spot just for you. We're all somewhere in between. I thought you'd come to the place you can have some fun. Ain't gotta worry about knowing not what it means. Come and give me another, cause the night is young. At least I so thought.
This just in. Breaking news. Front and center.
It's front and center. It's our all-in selections for the 2025 NFL season. Some people call them flag plants. Others call them my guys. We try to be a little original on this particular program, so we call them all-in selections. Quickly, let's run through last year's all-in picks. I had JSN, which was looked like a pretty good pick. Wide receiver 39, gave you wide receiver 1 value. Dalton Kincaid. Missed on that one. I always go for a tight end. I feel like I need to stop. It's these mid-round tight ends. I think I learned my lesson. We shall see, though. Eric, you had Khalil Shakir, who wide receiver 58, he was going off the board, gave you wide receiver 3 value coming back. And Josh Jacobs, you took him right in that RB16 range. He came in for RB1 price tag by the end of the season. So good on you. And Steve, you weren't on the show last year. We actually had our intern, Will, who shout out to Will. He has graduated college. He's officially, and he also got his first full-time job out there in the streets. He has left us here at IBT.
They grow up so fast.
They do, man. 1 minute you're just enjoying a nice little bush light with them after hours down in Canton, Ohio. The next thing you know, they're moving to Charlotte. So we appreciate you, Will. But Will's picks absolutely crushed it. Rashee Rice was definitely on pace to be a wide receiver 1 before his injury. He was going wide receiver 34. Crazy that was even a price tag. And Trey McBride, he got him at tight end 4, and he gave you such a great return on that investment as well. So Will, I see why he was scooped up, Eric. I see why he was scooped up. Smart kid.
Yeah, no doubt. You're gonna have a couple of IBT podcast shows like that where you're putting out some absolute gainers, and there's gonna be a long list of outfits that are trying to employ you.
Yes, 100%, man. And let's get into the 2025 all-in selections. We're using consensus ADP. This coming from Fantasy Pros. They're weighing PPR ADP from just an array of sites: ESPN, Sleeper, CBS, NFL, RTS Sports, Fantrax. So really, wherever you're playing, this will kind of give you a nice overall feel for that. So, Steve, I'm going to throw it over your direction first, man. Who is your first all-in selection for 2025? Who are you putting your reputation on the line with?
Yeah, I've been saying it all off season, and it's finally like one of those shows where I put them on the show sheet and I don't get told like, "Hey, pick somebody different." So it's Keon Coleman for the Buffalo Bills. Listen, there is nothing that has indicated that he is not going to be a massive part of this offense. Shakir's injured. Kincaid is not very good. He has improved throughout camp. It said he got stronger. He's worked on his route running. His route tree is expanded. I think this is the year we see Keon Coleman put it together. Last year, he seemed to be coming on nicely and then got hurt, and that derailed his rookie season a little bit. But now he is healthy and able to build that rapport with Josh Allen, and that's going to be so important for someone like Keon Coleman, a big-bodied target who's going to put up touchdowns, right? Like, that's the number one thing is, can they score? Yards are great. Receptions are great, but at the end of the day, it's about putting points on the board. Those touchdowns are going to be key. I wouldn't be surprised as the wide receiver 1 in this offense that really is lacking a wide receiver 2 right now with Shakir's injury and questionable status, and he's never on the field all the time. He kind of plays like 2/3 of the snaps every game. The stage is set for Keon Coleman to have a monster year. I'm looking at 1,200 and like,
whoa,
big year out of Keon Coleman.
All right, so Steve, obviously he's drinking that hype juice on Keon Coleman. Eric, where do you come down on him? I don't think 1,200 10 is quite in the range of possibility, but I mean, I think 800 yards and potentially, a half dozen to 7 touchdowns is certainly within the range of possibility, and you are getting him at a discount right now. How do you feel overall about someone like Keon Coleman?
I love him. One of my higher exposed players in terms of my dynasty portfolio, a player that I absolutely am gobbling up in every draft that I can because ADPs and staff rankings have him buried down the board, right? I mean, really, it was just out of deference to Steve that I didn't race in there and take his guy because he is certainly someone that I feel similarly about. The only quibble that I will levy here is I worry about his touchdown upside, right? We've seen with Josh Allen, we've seen with James Cook putting up almost 20 touchdowns last year. Touchdowns are kind of hard to come by through the air in this Bills offense, right? So I think of the two bookends that the two of you offered up, I think he's probably closer to Steve's side of the spectrum in terms of yardage, but probably a bit closer to your side, or maybe even a little bit lower when it comes to scores. I could see him getting like 1,000 yards and 4 or 5 scores.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about Keon Coleman is he has a lot going in his favor, like the deep targets. 25th best in the league last year, 18 of them. Great ADOT, 15.2. But I would like to see maybe that ADOT come down a little bit, and we use him somewhat closer to the line of scrimmage too, where it's not only deep shots, but the interesting thing here too is 10.81 target quality rating. That's the best in the league. So he was absolutely getting catchable targets coming his way in the right average depth of target that you want to. So you really like to see that. For me, it's just, can he get a bigger target share? 15.5 last year. That's just not going to cut it. So, Steve, to hit your projection, you're going to need him getting closer to 25, maybe even to creep up there 26% target share. So I think that's kind of the big qualm here with Keon Coleman. But if he gets it, he might be talented enough. I know I'm going to keep hitting his like over 1.5 reception probably to open up the line. That might be open up the year. That might be a line I'm on next week.
Yeah, I just, you know what? I know it's like a bold prediction, and I get that people don't believe in Keon Coleman quite as much as I do. But again, who else is going to catch the ball there? Like who's going to gobble up those targets otherwise?
Yeah.
Like it's not clear.
There's a lot of mouths to feed there.
There's really not. There's not. There's a lot of guys on the roster, but they're
Well,
all
it's
bad.
just how the Bills use their receivers. They just use the platoon, even at running back, man. I saw Fitzy said this earlier this week on Fantasy Pros. Did you know Ty Johnson led the NFL in the air yards from the running back position last year? Like, it's just insane how they deploy the running backs and the wide receivers. Like, we're going to see Joshua Palmer in the mix. We're going to see Curtis Samuel still in the mix.
I actually think Josh Palmer is going to be a big reason as to why Keon Coleman has a better year than we expect, because Josh Palmer's one area of expertise is deep balls. I think this is going to open Keon Coleman up to the short intermediate stuff that we weren't seeing him do before.
Yeah.
Palmer will come in and play that sacrificial X role, right?
Yeah.
Easily.
Keon Coleman was an early second round pick for the Buffalo Bills. They want to use him. They want to use him in ways that get the ball in his hands. And we saw with the ball in his hands, he's dangerous. He's dangerous after the catch. This is a guy, I'm telling you, I know it doesn't seem like it at first glance, but you got to just trust the process, and I do.
Okay. All right. Well, Steve is trusting the process there. I think it will come down to his route running will be the bottom line, if he can make that work or not. So let's go ahead. I'm going to move to my first all-in selection of the evening. And to no surprise, it is Las Vegas Raiders running back Ashton Jeanty, who I've not wavered off as my third overall player this season, my RB1. I'll save you the time of breaking down the best running back prospect profile that I've seen probably since Saquon Barkley, or the fact that he's joining a fast-paced Chip Kelly offense, or how Marshawn Lynch averaged 12 touchdowns per season with Pete Carroll as his head coach. Instead, let's play a game here, boys. Mm-hmm. What elite running back is most likely to be drafted first in 2026?
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
I think it's Ashton
easily
Jeanty.
Bijan.
What elite running back has a worse backup than Zamir White to take touches away?
Josh Jacobs.
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey is
Saquon
Brian
Barkley.
and Garendo. No,
Derrick
all those backups are way better than Keaton Mitchell.
You really gonna dunk on my guy Zeus White like that?
Dude,
out here for the whole world to see.
I think Zamir White is trash.
That's okay.
I want to push back just a little bit. I just want to push back a little bit on this.
Hold on. Can I get through the rest of the game? This is only one. We're on level 2 here. What elite running back is most likely to get hurt?
All of them.
Not the one that's 21 years old. I'm going to take the one that's 21 years old. Here's where I'm getting at. If you have not been convinced, if this isn't enough for you, that I think Ashton Jeanty can be a top 5 overall player in fantasy, maybe this will. Here are the running backs that were drafted inside the top 10 of the NFL draft since 2016 and their fantasy finishes. Bijan Robinson, RB9. Saquon Barkley, RB1. Leonard Fournette, RB9. Christian McCaffrey, RB10. Ezekiel Elliott, RB5. I put him closer to Zeke and Saquon because they also didn't have anyone else really in that backfield. Leonard Fournette was running with TJ Yeldon, who was coming off a good year. Christian McCaffrey did have Jonathan Stewart in that backfield as well. And Bijan Robinson was working with Tyler Algier coming off a 1,000-yard season. So I think that's the floor. But I think the difference is that except for Fournette and Christian McCaffrey that year, who were second, third round picks, we're looking at Jeanty, who's going in the back half of the first round, while we were drafting Bijan Robinson top 6. We were drafting Saquon Barkley top 6. We were drafting Ezekiel Elliott, their rookie season's top 6. You're getting a discount on Ashton Jeanty, and you're going to want him mightily by the time September ends. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, there's a huge difference between what Ashton Jeanty is working with in terms of offensive talent around him and what like Bijan Robinson was working with and Christian McCaffrey was working with. And like, yes, Marshawn Lynch had great seasons with Pete Carroll, but that team was significantly better than a team that Jacoby Myers just requested a trade off of.
That's a contract, Floyd. That's what. Don't read into that as being a bad.
Jacoby Myers thinking that he has the leverage to want a new contract to the point
he's making like $10 million. He's making nothing.
To trade out of the team. Yeah, it's Jacoby Myers. That's all he should be making. But because he's on the Raiders and they have
less money than like Christian
players
Kirk
on the
and Darius
entire
Slayton.
team, that offensive line is abysmal. Geno Smith is not the quarterback that's going to elevate him. Geno Smith, the wide receiving core is awful. Terrible. No one's threatening over the top. He is going to face stacked box after stacked box.
Brock Bowers?
Box. That's it. That's all he's got. If Brock Bowers, God forbid, draws a double team, who else is going to catch the ball there? This is not a situation that is set up for Ashton Jeanty to outscore his slot. Running back 6, that's best case scenario, I feel like, for Ashton Jeanty this season.
I think that's closer to the floor. Eric, where do you land?
I guess I'm kind of closer to Steve's point of view on this, but not by a lot, right? I mean, the point that he mentioned is you're drafting this guy near his ceiling, which I think is fair, right? I think this Chip Kelly offense is very, very lucrative and beneficial for running backs, but I think they're going to struggle, right? First off, put a little respect on my guy Dante Thornton's name. There is going to be at least viable options running down the field. But I think with Ashton Jeanty, his ability to get into that top 5 is going to be tied to the Raiders' ability to score touchdowns, which is a legitimate, open, and worrisome question, and his ability to catch passes out of the backfield because they are going to be playing from behind a fair amount. And generally, like, I don't want to draft a guy at their ceiling if they have those types of questions mounting, right? I feel fine about him as like RB 8 or 9, something like that off the board, right? So I'm not far off. It's just things really have to go well for you to feel good about your decision to take him where he's going.
Far off my ranking. Yeah. All right, Eric, keep us at the running back position with your first must-have player of the season. Your all-in selection is...
Ooh, a guy that I would actually take over Ashton Jeanty, and I've seen happen a few times. My guy Chase Brown for the Cincinnati Bengals. Very similar case starting off with to that we will make for Ashton Jeanty, a guy that will have the absolute lion's share of the opportunity out of that Cincinnati backfield. If you look from week 8 on, the point where Zach Moss was injured and eventually removed from the Bengals rotation, he was far and away one of the leaders in opportunity share out of that backfield.
8.
And that volume, 8 on the season, right? He is actually starting off relatively slow to climb his way up to 8th overall in opportunity share. So a guy that now has that opportunity right in front of him again, heading into the 2025 season. The thing that is really most exciting for me is twofold, as I say thing. One, Zach Johnson and Zach Taylor, and this offensive coordinating staff, Dan Pitcher, have both been in the media saying that they want to get Chase Brown more involved.
A lot of coach speak,
catcher. And if you look back at his game logs, there are games where he saw 11 targets, 7 targets, 8 targets, and all of those games he finished as a top 5 running back or better. And moreover, looking at some of his limited time on the field during the preseason this year, there were several points, including one that he converted for a touchdown, where the Bengals were on the goal line and they brought big Chase Brown in to convert that touchdown. So I think his scoring opportunity is going to go up in an offense that will be prolific. I think they will make good on their hints that they intend to throw him the ball more. Even if he sustains his rate from last year, his ability to finish inside the top 10 is very strong. And obviously, this is the highest end of his range. I don't think it's completely out of the question that he has running back run overall upside on his range of outcomes.
Wow. It's such a funny road here with Chase Brown because he was one of my flag plant players coming out of that class. I loved what he did in Champaign because he was a bell cow, and people sometimes, because of his short stature, confuse him with a small back. He is not a small guy. He is absolutely yoked up, man. And I always compared his workload, not his skill set necessarily, but his workload to what someone like Christian McCaffrey did see in college. So I just never thought we would get to this point where we would be saying Chase Brown has RB1
right
overall upside, but I love it. I love it, man.
IBT faithful know he was someone that I flagged as an avoid heading into the pre-draft part of our conversation in the offseason, right? Because there was plenty of reason to believe that Cincinnati was going to go out and draft him a running mate. They didn't. Now he's going to have that elite workload and be able to flex his skills as a pass catcher and apparently as a goal line threat.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Steve, where are you at on Chase Brown? Have I gotten too aggressive? I have him RB8 right now. I actually moved him in tier 2, one spot ahead of Josh Jacobs over the weekend. So I'm also buying what Eric is smoking on right now.
I think we might be getting a little too aggressive on Chase Brown. And yes, the opportunity is there. And I saw a really troubling stat about Chase Brown, and that is that he was one of the worst breakaway runners in the NFL last year. He was one of the worst at generating big plays. So, and he's fast. So I didn't understand entirely why that's the case. And that points to a lack of vision. And that is a big problem. I don't think he's going to like flame out on us. I think RB12 is pretty good where he's at, and I think it'll fluctuate maybe 4 spots one way or the other. Like, that's kind of where I have him. He's really safe. I just don't think he has that elite upside. There's so many mouths to feed in that offense that I think, yes, they could be like, we want to throw him the ball more, but who are you going to steal those targets from? Jamar Chase, Higgins?
Outside of those guys, there's not much, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but that outside of those guys, who else do you want to throw to? Why would you throw to anybody else? Every play should be designed to go to them.
Brown. He'd be the third guy. Yeah,
but he's not. Again, the lack of big play upside means you have to be so consistent and get so many consistent opportunities over and over and over and over and over again. And I do think there is a real risk that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be behind in games because their defense is going to be the worst in the league, and it will phase him out of the game in ways that we don't like.
I think you'll see more volume because of it through the air. And I understand the big play issue, but Eric, I said the same thing about Josh Jacobs a couple of years ago. Like his career long it had to be the first 3-4 seasons of his career was like 28 yards, right? The guy could not rip big plays, but he just kept getting fed, and we saw that last year again in Green Bay.
I have to ask here. We let you play a game. Can I play a game as well?
Yes.
First,
quickly.
Chase Brown was number 15 in the league in terms of number of breakaway runs. Right about league average.
I think it was
breakaway runs matter more. It's 4.4%. Matter more when you're talking about lower volume guys. But it's a fair point, right? His explosive rating is pedestrian. But we talk about the mouths to feed in the Cincinnati offense. How many targets per game do you believe Jamar Chase and T. Higgins will average this upcoming season? How many targets do you want to give them?
22, 23.
Per game? Per game?
22 23.
I think that's high. I would say...
I don't.
I would say 10. I would say Chase is probably looking at about 10. I'd say T. Higgins probably about 7.5 to 8, maybe 8.
Let's split the difference and say that they average 20 targets per game.
Sure.
Joe Burrow last year averaged 38.5 pass attempts per game. Like there is more than enough meat.
And he doesn't run that much, so he'll dump off.
Right. Yeah, 652 pass attempts. So if those guys are on the high end, they're getting 25 pass attempts per game total. There's still almost 14 pass attempts to go to Chase Brown and who else?
Like I said, I don't dislike Chase Brown. I think he's a good pick. I like this pick a lot. I just think it's I think it's all in for I would pick him here because it's super safe.
I get it.
I mean, to be fair, I'm all in because I was getting him in the 3rd round before he got traded.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Chase Brown is Eric's first all-in pick for 2025. Steve, you're going to be taking us to the wide receiver position, where you're taking another shot on a rookie wide receiver, much like a year ago when you were really all in on someone like Malik Neighbors. You think maybe this guy is the second coming of that potentially?
Yeah, I ride with the wide receiver. I love big Tetairoa McMillan down there in Carolina. Listen, again, no reason to expect anything other than elite production out of this guy right out the gate. Wide receiver 28, 63rd player taken overall.
Yeah.
That's really low. That's really low for a guy that like Adam Thielen was a viable wide receiver, like high end 2 at different points last season. Like this team just and oh my God, Hunter Renfrow just got cut too. And that was someone who everybody was like, oh no, the target's going to Hunter Renfrow. Like I heard Hunter Renfrow's name as if he was a threat to
really?
anybody.
Where are you seeing?
Oh my God, every single time I turned on anything and it was like, oh, Tetairoa McMillan. Everyone's like, yeah, but Hunter Renfrow. I'm like, Hunter Renfrow, Adam Thielen, Jalen Coker. Jalen Coker, that guy was mopping the floors of the stadium like 2 weeks ago. I mean, this is the one and only playmaker on this offense that has any sort of upside at all. I mean, Chuba Hubbard is fine. I liked him in college. I like him now. But, like, he's kind of a plotter, like 4.5 yards in a cloud of dust kind of guy most of the time anyway. Like, the passing yards are going to come from somewhere, and they've already gone out of their way to show you, like, we are going to feature this guy. His very limited preseason appearances, it's big plays, it's impressive route running, it's everything you want to see out of this guy. And we're like hindering him and getting him at such a discount because Bryce Young is short. Like, that's our issue is Bryce Young. Okay, I could list 7 different wide receiver ones that have awful quarterbacks throwing to them. It doesn't matter when you're this good, you're this tall, and you're the only show in town. It's him and nothing.
Yeah, he's been another guy that I've just slowly crept up my rankings to the
I think
point
I have
where
him currently as my wide receiver 12.
I have him 16, and I'm way above ECR. I'm way above ADP on him.
I got the warning on Fantasy Pros.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's chill out is what that's telling us. You're entering Debro territory with that, but I'm with you on Tetairoa McMillan. I do wish the offense was a bit more stable, but I think Bryce Young will be able to get him the ball in space. I'd feel even better if Adam Thielen did get traded to Minnesota, like we're hearing the whispers of, because it'd free up even more targets. But but he's solid, and he's been there for Bryce Young. So but Tetairoa McMillan, I've moved him up above Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill in my rankings. I didn't think I would do that, but this is kind of where we are. Eric, are you slowing down this hype train at all?
Apparently, but not intentionally. I'm higher than consensus on Tetairoa McMillan, but not to the point where I have him in the teens, right? I've got him 23. And that means that prior to about 2 weeks ago, I was getting a fair amount of him in my drafts, and now he's getting a little too pricey for me, right? I love his draft profile. I think his circumstance is one of the better ones in all of the NFL, right? He really is, clearly Tetairoa McMillan, and then everyone else in that wide receiver room, whether or not Adam Thielen's there, whether or not Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker continue to take steps forward, he is going to dominate opportunity share among this receiving core. So I like him a lot. I don't like him to where I'm taking him in the late teens in my drafts in terms of wide receiver ranking.
Okay, where would you still take him, like back end of the 4th? Is that okay for you?
He's more of a 5th round target for me.
Okay, well, you're probably not getting. I know ADP. Yeah. ADP is a little bit all over the place on McMillan. That's something to kind of just keep in mind. He's one of the guys that on some of the more common platforms that people are playing in, like NFL Network, he's 30th, he's 28th on ESPN, 28th on Sleeper. But then you look at somewhere like RTS Sports, which are some usually more hardcore players. He's 23rd. So a little bit of variance I think you're going to see in a lot of your drafts. I did want to get to a couple comments here as well. Joe checking in. What's up, Joe? Saying Bengals get offensive play time more because they have such a terrible defense. Yeah, they did get Trey Hendrickson back, so that's a great sign, but still he can't play all 11 positions on the defense. So Dominic, I see you have a question in here for us. We'll get to that here in just a little bit as well. And Michael saying Hunter Renfrow having more stomach issues after being cut. It's a bummer, man. That's a bummer. And if you draft one of the receivers in the first rounds, Tet is a solid wide receiver too. I don't even hate him as my wide receiver too. If I'm punting wide receiver in that first round and getting someone like a JSN, someone kind of in that range is my wide receiver one. So like that play a lot, Steve. I think that's my favorite all in that you had so far tonight. I will go ahead and I've tried to avoid talking about this guy for a while because I really felt like I was way ahead of consensus. I had talked about him really for the last year, the better part of last year. But all I'll say is, well. It seems that the guy I've been hyping up for all this time, it feels like he's finally getting the attention he deserves after arguably one of the best tight end seasons in college football history, second in the entire country among all players in receptions, 104 of them, seventh in receiving yards, over 1,200. Also is a guy who, a lot like Taysom Hill, lethal as a ball carrier, 200 plus rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, garnered top 15 draft capital to a team that we know they were heartbroken, Chris Ballard said, for missing out on Brock Bowers last season. And he's been absolutely balling out in the preseason, getting maybe some of the most positive coach speak we've ever heard from a rookie tight end. And I've said from day one, man, I think you are getting a mix of Taysom Hill and his hijinks with George Kittle type of after-the-catch ability mixed together here in Tyler Warren. And without Anthony Richardson, too, I think the situation's only improving because not only could they now use Tyler Warren in some of those red zone short yardage rushing situations like Andy Kotelnicki did at Penn State, but also I think he's going to see a ton of the over-the-middle short check down stuff like Josh Downs was getting last year. We've seen it with guys like Wan'Dale Robinson. We've seen it like Darius Slayton getting these check down type of balls from Daniel Jones in the past. I think it's going to be really good for Tyler Warren. I think he's going to see a lot of that work. And if I have it my way, I am waiting on tight end in every single draft this season and taking Tyler Warren in the 8th round. Any issues with that?
Okay. You're just opening that up to us. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a huge issue with it. I think Tyler. The one issue I have with Tyler Warren is, man, he takes the worst player pictures. Like, God, this guy just cannot take a good picture. But I do think that the Anthony Richardson benching really helps Tyler Warren because a lot of those short yardage goal line pushes that probably would have gone to Anthony Richardson are probably going to go to Tyler Warren unless the coaching staff gets real funky with it and decides Anthony Richardson's coming in for those and like running.
Or they just decide to run Daniel Jones
or Jonathan Taylor. Like there's a lot of guys. Like honestly, I wouldn't take the ball out of Jonathan Taylor's hands for a run for Tyler Warren. I do think we have to slow down a little bit and be like, oh, Tyler Warren's going to be like Taysom Hill in the rushing. I don't know if he's that prolific at it. I think he's fine. I don't know if he's going to be like
fun. You're no fun.
I am fun. I'm not cranky. I'm just trying to tell our listeners, the good people of Tennessee, slow their roll a little bit. And the people of YouTube, I love you all too. But Tyler Warren is a good prospect, but the problem is there's that looming threat of Anthony Richardson as well. I do not believe Daniel Jones holds this job for the entire season.
I don't know if Akers is there. I could see him getting traded out. It doesn't sound like he wants to be there. Eric, settle this debate here. Are you taking Tyler Warren as your tight end 1 in drafts? Are you comfortable paying the tight end 10 price tag where he's at currently?
Man, I want to settle the debate of getting roasted for drafting Daniel Jones last week after the Colts came out and said that he's the starter for the whole year. But that is a conversation for another day. Tyler Warren's price is too rich for my blood currently. This is another case of why drafting earlier in the offseason is to your benefit. Because I have a ton of Tyler Warren when he was going at pick 125. He is absolutely the darling of the fantasy community right now. He is tight end number 6 off the board right now. You've got him listed here at 93 overall. Fantasy Pros has them at 89 in ADP, and it is rising. The real time is plus 6 spots. He's going.
Wow, this went up just four spots today. Holy cow.
You absolutely have to pay very early draft capital to get Tyler Warren to a point where I'm not comfortable with. I think he's a phenomenal prospect. I think Daniel Jones being at the helm is to his benefit. I think he'll do a little bit of rushing, but we have been spoiled by Brock Bowers and by Sam Laporta. The significantly larger sample through the test of time in the NFL is that tight ends take a bit of time to ramp up to the NFL level. So you are absorbing the very large unlikelihood that another rookie tight end and comes in and it's immediately an impact player. And that's a very small sliver on that pie chart. So I love the kid. I got a lot of them, but his hype train is off the tracks, and I'm not getting him at cost right now.
Oh man! Not only do I have to go into a league where everyone, if they want to, they can watch my content or read my content, so they already know what picks I'm making. It's also a draft with all Penn State fans, and now it's also late August.
Is this an auction league?
No, this is not an auction league.
Oh, if this was an auction league, he would be the first player I nominated.
Yeah. I think I want to say this because I feel like I've been really harsh on Tyler Warren all off season. I think he's a good prospect.
Yeah.
I think he's a good prospect. That's what I would say about him, right? I don't think he's phenomenal. I don't think he's like elite. I think he's good. I think he'll be a good tight end for years to come. But I think if we substituted and switched him and Fannin at Penn State, Seth would be screaming Harold Fannin's name as the best tight end in the NFL. Like all of a sudden, listen,
different skill sets. Tyler Warren's a 3-down guy. Harold Fanning is not someone I ever see operating on 3 downs.
Why?
Just not as good of a run blocker. Just not as good of a blocker.
Tight ends don't need to block as much anymore. That's not a thing.
Well, tell that to Dalton Kincaid. Tell that to Dalton Kincaid who can't get on the field, brother.
I mean,
Kincaid's out there
where it is.
He's he's drinking Gatorade. Dalton Kincaid's down in a gallon of Gatorade every time I look, he's on
can't
the
block.
sideline.
He was on the field plenty. Cade Otton can't block. He was on the field. Jonnu Smith was on the field all the time. That guy hasn't blocked 2 people in his entire life.
You're saying pretty good, decent blockers. I don't think you're helping.
They're not. They're not good blockers.
I think
there's
no
good. There's 3 good tight end blockers in the entire NFL.
Oh. All right. Well, we got to keep moving. We got to get going here. We got some questions we have to get to. Eric, you have to round us out with your last all-in selection of 2025.
I was really hoping we were going to take a side quest and rank our top 5 blocking tight ends in the NFL, but I guess we'll put that on the show sheet for a different week.
Please.
I'll try to be brief here because
it
is not in my nature. My next all-in player for 2025 is none other than Dak Prescott going as QB 11 off the board. You're getting him near pick 100. And he is my default option when you get past the big 4 quarterbacks. If I'm not able to draft one of them at decent value, I am not even thinking about quarterback until we get to about pick 90 where Dak Prescott resides. A lot of this is simple mathematics, right? We now have yet again Brian Schottenheimer, whose name I botched last time I was talking about Dak Prescott, at the helm calling plays for these Dallas Cowboys. And when Brian Schottenheimer started his reign calling plays for this offense, it immediately became one of the highest volume passing offenses in all of the land. And we're not that far removed from 2023, Dak Prescott's last healthy season where he attempted almost 600 passes and he finished as the QB4 at 20.7 fantasy points per game. Now you take that offense and you add in arguably his best wide receiver 2 in his tenure at the helm for the Cowboys. Easy. The argument that you can make that it's not is back in the 2020 season when he had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb out there.
And he was on a crazy, was that the year's crazy pace and he got hurt, right?
He only played 5 games in that season before getting injured. His 17-game pace was for 6,300 yards, 316 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, and 30 passing touchdowns. He would have smashed Peyton Manning's record. And his 5-game pace, granted, small sample size, 27.9 fantasy points per game. Lamar Jackson holds the highest fantasy points per game season for a quarterback at 27.7 in an MVP year in 2019. So obviously that is the high end of his range of outcomes, but because of the circumstance, because of the system, because of the play caller and the talent around him, I think that we are very well rooted in talking about ceiling outcomes for Dak Prescott, which you love to see with a guy that is going where a lot of backup quarterbacks are being drafted this year.
It's a fair point. I really have no arguments about it. You got to hope he stays healthy, really. Like, that's I think the big thing with it. But where he's going, I have no problem. I have a ton of Dak exposure. I've been like, especially in the best ball streets over on Underdog, I've been doing a lot of let's wait on quarterback, and then I double tap Drake May and Dak Prescott a lot. So I'm with you there. I do like pairing someone like Dak because I know he's probably not going to get that rushing floor back that he had years ago with someone like Drake May or Justin Fields who can give me a little bit more on the ground that can boot, scoot, and boogie around. But I have no issue with Dak Prescott here. And I think this defense, as long as Micah Parsons unsigned, Steve, is going to be absolutely cheeks. And I think there's going to be a lot of volume going around, kind of like a Joe Burrow light situation, if you would, down there in Dallas for Dak.
Yeah, maybe. Listen, I feel so bad sometimes on the show because I come on, I'm like, no. But like, this offensive line is going to be bad. Like, it's going to be really bad. Like, it's going to be gross. And this running game is going to be non-existent. Javonte Williams is the starting running back. This is going to be a gross offense, I think.
They're going to have to throw
at different points. Yes, and that's fine, except for the fact that we've seen that from other teams. Like, it doesn't necessarily just equate to like, oh, they're a fantasy god because they throw a lot. Throwing a lot's great, but if you're like taking the shotgun snap and like a guy's in your face immediately, that's not going to be very good. And Dak has kind of turned into a statue after that ankle injury a bit. I don't think it lends itself to like top 5 upside by any means. I like QB 11. I like him right here. I think that's fine. It's safe. Like, I don't think you're going to really sit there and kick yourself and be like, blew my season because I drafted Dak at the 100th pick. But it's not going to be something that you're like, I won my year because of Dak.
I think it's going to come down.
I think I'm going to win a lot of leagues because of Dak this year.
I think it's going to come down to touchdown rate. I think it'll be touchdown rate. If he can have a high touchdown rate and get up there.
When he's out there, he's one of the most frequent throwers to the end zone in all of the NFL. Him and Jordan Love are top that list year in and year out.
Right, but do you want Jordan Love?
Throwing the ball into the end zone.
But do you want Jordan Love? Are you all in on Jordan Love?
Not over Dak Prescott.
Why?
Price.
They're going to throw a lot.
Price.
Like, yeah. But do you think he's going to finish like they're going to throw all the time? He throws to the end zone. He does all the blah, 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 blah.
I mean, the issue is that Jordan Love has Josh Jacobs behind him, right? And Dak Prescott has Javonte Williams.
The issue is that he has someone who can actually make play action viable.
That's true. That's true. Let's go ahead. Let's get to a couple comments here before we keep going. And first up, our guy Dominic dropped a sub. Content, fellas. Thanks so much, Dom. We appreciate it, man. And he's asking about a trade here. He's getting Chase Brown, Rashad Bateman. He's giving up Jalen McMillan and James Conner. 12-man PPR.
There's no
one
way
quarterback,
it's
2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Oh, would it be Tetairoa McMillan? Is that Okay. I was about to say, I think you're fleecing this guy very, very badly, Dom. Can you give us a little clarification here in the comments? Is this Tetairoa?
Yes, I think it is Tet.
Okay. My B on that did obviously not read. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Dom.
Jalen McMillan. I was like, what?
I was about to say, this guy just, I was going to say, Dom, smash and run, baby. Smash and run. And hope no one in your leagues is too upset. Would you do this move, Eric? Because you do like Chase Brown, but I don't know if I could give up Tetairoa McMillan and James Conner safety at that running back position in this type of league for him.
Man, I'm so glad that Dominic subscribed here because he brings in the chaos, sicko energy that we need in the IBT family. Immediately pits against our 2 of our flag plant players. I think in a vacuum, this is a bit too much to give away for Chase Brown. But looking at his roster a few comments later, I think you can make a case for it, right? He has got a ton of wide receiver depth, and that running back room is pretty scary if you don't have Chase Brown in the mix. So I would probably find a way to talk myself into doing this deal, but I am admittedly very, very bullish on Chase Brown. And a lot of it's because I just like the texture of your lineup more with a bit of a boost at the running back position, as opposed to several top 25, 30 wide receivers that are going to be on your bench every week.
Here's my thought is, can you take, if you haven't already done this trade, Dom, can you take out Tetairoa McMillan and put in Marv? That's what I would do. I think Marv's,
I would do too.
Yeah. Like Marv probably has just as much hype still. He's still going ahead of Tetairoa in a lot of ADP. So if you haven't done it yet, like I would go ahead. Can you slot in Marv? Because I think he'll get you that too. And maybe you don't even have to give James Conner then too. Maybe you can give like a Tyrone Tracy and keep Conner.
Don't give Tyrone Tracy. No, James Conner is a better person to give away than Tyrone Tracy. Don't give him that advice.
Easy.
Don't give him that advice.
James Conner is a top 20 running back. Let's chill out. Tyrone Tracy's
Benson season.
All right. Okay. All right. I forgot the bias. Let's grade Michael's team quickly too. He was in his KFFC Friday night main event. This is a 12-team start, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, a tight end, and 1 flex here. And looks like at the 9 spot, he got Nico Collins, Devon Achane, Mike Evans, Breece Hall, Jaden Daniels, Roma Dunze, Rashid Rice, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, I'm guessing Mark Andrews, Brandon Aubrey, and Philadelphia defense. I mean, this is a really hard squad to pick apart, guys. I would give this, even with the Achane injury, I'm still okay with him in the middle of the second round. Like, you got him there, Mike. So, and I love getting Mike Evans come back in the third, and Daniels where you got him if that was potentially the 5th round too. So I'd give this an A. I maybe prefer, I guess Evan Ingram isn't my favorite, but I guess you got Mark Andrews. So yeah, I'll give this an A. Boys?
I worry about your wide receivers. I will not lie to you. Love your running backs. Love your quarterbacks.
Collins, Evans, Dunze, Rice. That feels nice.
Yeah, Rashid Rice
and Pearsall. Is that? Oh no, that was a different question. I'm just seeing Ricky Pearsall's name now.
Rashid Rice.
That guy just closes his eyes and he sees Ricky Pearsall's face.
We don't know what's going on with Rice. Dunze, we don't know what's going on with him. I love the tight ends. I love Evan Ingram this season. I think it's going to be monster. I'd give this a B+.
That's who you like on this.
I'm at a B+. I think your wide receivers, I think you could have done better than Mike Evans.
Can everyone tell who's watching live with us that Steve's from Boston? Because my goodness, are you negative today, my friend?
I'm not negative. I'm realistic. Listen, my job, you brought me onto this show to make sure I'm giving the best fantasy analysis and to be a bit of a foil to you guys.
I know. I'm giving you a hard time.
You guys are so nice. You guys are overly nice. And like, that's that Southern hospitality and whatever is going on there in the Midwest with the Pennsylvania people. That's like just over friendliness that happens in that area of the country that everyone wants to talk to you. Sometimes you need a little harsh reality check.
It's all right. I think
a B+ is solid.
Okay. All right. Eric, your thoughts here for our guy, Michael. Grade.
Michael, I love you. Fantasy Meatball, my guy. I think this is the B- squad.
Oh, wow.
I really like the running backs, specifically the value that you got on ETN. I'm not worried about Achane. I'm happy you got him in the 2nd round. There are a couple of missteps here, right? Specifically in this format where you have to start 3 wide receivers. One of those 2 guys is going to be Roma Dunze, who has a lot of potential and realistically a fair amount of upside, but also is unproven, right? He's a question mark in terms of his ability to convert that at the NFL level. And the other one is Rashid Rice, who is currently facing somewhere between a 2 and 35 game suspension that may fall between week 1 and week 17 of the season. So I was out there buying.
We don't know his bench. We don't know his bench. He might have some good studs on the bench.
I doubt it.
Potentially. I'm assuming based on the order that this was laid out, it only goes downhill from here. But maybe there was some value in the KFFC draft queue. But either way, I was buying the value on Rice until we got to the point where they're now in arbitration and we don't know where the suspension is going to fall. It's just too much uncertainty. And then there's also a misstep. Mark Andrews and Evan Ingram, pick whichever one you like more. You don't need both of them. Right, like if you're gonna roster 2 tight ends, you should really be looking for the 2nd tight end to be a bit further down the board, so you could use that pick to bolster your wide receiver core, for example. So I think it's a competitive squad. I just think there are some missteps in the draft strategy overall.
Dom saying dude does not want two players from the same team, unfortunately. And I really like Marv this year. Oh, I understand that.
I wouldn't
That's
put Marv in that deal for whatever it's worth. I'll
Okay.
take. Actually, this is the flag plant. I'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. over Tetairoa McMillan this year.
Oh, lay down the bet. Lay down
Yeah.
the bet. I'm ready. I'm ready.
We're playing for pinks. I want your car, Steve.
You don't want my car. My car is garbage.
One more question here before we jump into Would You Rather. 12-team PPR draft thoughts. Quarterbacks, Brock Purdy, Drake May. Running backs, Chase Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Charbonnet, Warren, Scadaboo, Tootin. Wide receivers, BTJ, Sutton, T-Mac, Abuka, Coleman, Chiga Quanquo at tight end. So man, I mean, he's talking to me here. He's talking to me. Not only does he have, I love the depth at running back with Scadaboo and Tootin.
I love understand how this happened.
How could it? I think it makes perfect sense. He went running back. He went running back with Gibbs, Chase Brown,
BTJ, Chase Brown, T-Mac. Like that just feels like a lot of guys. Who are like,
yeah. Maybe this is
a 12-teamer. How did this happen?
This is a stud team. This is a stud. I don't know how you did this either.
Is it a super flex or is it just like?
It could be dynasty. This could be
dynasty. Maybe there's some keepers mixed in here. Yeah, this team is money.
This is A+. This is A+.
This is a crazy team.
Hand up, you have crushed this. Whether it is
how do you get Cortland Sutton?
Yeah, it was a keeper league.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So that makes sense. Like Chase Brown was
should be running the
BTJ was
this thing,
cheap.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
great.
Smash it.
Great job, Pat. Thanks so much for tuning in today, man. Hope you enjoy this one. Because this is an absolutely delightful team. Hopefully you can find a better tight end along the way. But
it's a great team when all of us are like, how did this happen? Like you just had us like absolutely tripping.
Let's get to one more for the people. For the people, our guy Cruz or gal. 10-team, half-point PPR. Rate my squad and needs. Quarterback Purdy, running back O'Marion Hampton, Alvin Kamara. At the running or wide receiver position, it's CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas Jr. Tight end, he's got George Kittle, 2 flexes, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice. On the bench, he's got RJ Harvey, Travis Hunter, Chris Olave, Travis Etienne, Trey Benson, Braylon Allen, and Bayshal Tootin. Tugboat, baby.
C.
Why? Because you hate Purdy?
I hate Purdy. I hate Hampton.
Okay.
I hate Brian Thomas. I hate Rashee Rice this season. DJ Moore doesn't seem to have a role in the offense. RJ Harvey can't win the starting job. Travis Hunter's a cornerback. Chris Olave's brains keep leaking out of his ear. Travis Etienne I like. Trey Benson all in on. Braylon Allen is a big giant tub of nothing. And Bayshal Tootin is like a cut candidate. C.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Someone cut Steve off in traffic. I actually
objectively, you've drafted all of the players that Steve hates. I think in a vacuum, you're closer to like a B+ with this squad.
Yeah,
Purdy in a 10 team is a tough look.
That's a little bit of a tough look. I don't love. I think Hampton's getting overdrafted, but he got Kamara at a value, which it looks like to me. So I'm okay with what you did there.
And he's got a full clip of upside running back to
RJ. You do.
I like this texture of the running back room a lot.
I'm again going to be the high man, and maybe it's just because my guy Cruz checking in for the first time here on the IBT Media YouTube channel. I'm giving you an A. I'm giving it an A. A- Cruz. A-. I got to be a little lean.
Sorry, Cruz.
Let's go ahead, though, guys. We're going to round out the show here. A little front and center, talk some NFL training camp risers and fallers, plus our best back-to-college movies coming up right here in Would You Rather.
Risking business or that fair say. Are you that hard on the rocks? We're chilling with a cold one. Even bold one or hold back. Would you rather? This ain't no simple matter.
Would you rather? It ain't no simple matter. We're talking preseason risers and fallers edition. Let's start with which preseason riser at the running back position would you rather draft at cost? Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, running back for the Washington Commanders. currently up to RB 37, 104 overall. Of course, we're using Fantasy Pros' new tool, the NFL real-time ADP tool. You can check that out over at fantasypros.com/NFL/real-time-ADP. Braylon Allen, running back for the New York Jets, RB 43, starting to get some steam. It looks like everything we heard this offseason, this was going to be a split, is looking like a split, 125 overall. Jordan Mason continuing to build up steam. Looks like he might be in a true split with Aaron Jones after being acquired by the Vikings in the offseason. He's going RB 30, 89 overall. And then Dylan Sampson, running back for the Cleveland Browns. Quinshon Judkins, charges were not filed. They were dropped. However, he has still not signed a deal with the Cleveland Browns right now. Dylan Sampson was working with the first team in the last preseason game, RB 47, 141 overall. So, Eric, which preseason rise or running back would you rather draft at cost out of this lot?
I guess out of this lot at current cost, it's Dylan Sampson, but I arguably like him the least out of everyone. I think that it's likely to get worked out with Quinshon Judkins at some point. But a couple weeks of Dylan Sampson is valuable, and maybe he plays well enough to earn a larger role. It's really just the 141 overall price tag that draws me there. The player that I've been drafting the most of is Braylon Allen. Up until about 2 weeks ago, he was floating at a pretty similar price tag to that of Dylan Sampson, and it was always like head in hands. Explain it to me like I'm 5, right? Like Breece Hall's ADP is just plummeting week over week.
Yes,
and Braylon Allen's is just staying flat. I couldn't figure it out, but I was gobbling him up. I have a ton of him. And we've jumped the shark on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 8th or 7th round where he's going. It's way too high.
What do you think, Steve? Are you buying the JCM, the Bill hype, if you would? Would you be taking a bite of that apple RB 37, or is there a different value you like here better?
No, I'm going to take the Bill that's on Capitol Hill. I really like what he's doing. I liked what I saw out of him. You know what? I kind of have to go back to what I said about Cruz's team, because Braylon Allen, I called him I was like, I think that's actually, I liked Braylon Allen in college, so I think I'm just more of a Breece Hall stan than I am a Braylon Allen hater.
Agreed.
So I like Braylon Allen. I think he's a good talent, but give me Bill. I like that. I also love that he goes by Bill for no reason whatsoever. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right,
watch
right.
Lil Bill growing up, and everyone's like, great. He runs really well. Like, he is an explosive runner. He's shifty. He's like able, and don't try to sell me on like Chris Rodriguez either. Like, that's
thank you.
That's the thing. People like,
Yep.
But Chris Rodriguez is there. I'm like, that guy couldn't break into the lineup when like they had no one to break into the lineup. And Austin Eckler is the
run out Jeremy McNichols over him at times. Yeah.
I mean, Jeremy
McNichols.
That's brutal. Like, that's just brutal. So yeah, give me Bill. I like him. I like that. And then Dylan Sampson.
You better be right drafting him that high.
Honestly, the 8th round, you're not going to die if you're wrong. You're fine.
I
He's got the upside that's higher than everyone else's here, unless like something happens and Breece Hall gets shot. I don't think Braylon Allen's taking over that job. Jordan Mason,
don't bring the guns to town. Come on.
We've seen what Jordan Mason is. Dylan Sampson's interesting. I do think he's interesting. And Quinshon Judkins, I'm not even going to rule anything out at this point. Like, it's like, oh, that'll get worked out. Based on what? This dude has made one wrong decision after the other. And frankly, like, I'm still skeptical of all that going down. And I'm sure it's a language issue in the contract that they're like, listen, if this rears its head again, you're getting paid nothing. And if he's fighting that hard over that, I'm like, I don't love that. Give me Bill on Capitol Hill.
He is in a locker room full of guys that have made nothing but bad decisions and are still rostered on this team.
Right. I know, but it's I think there's a contract language that's in that. That's what's holding them up. Like, the money is the money, right? It's set.
Yes.
Have you met Isaiah Bond? Isaiah Bond has entered the chat.
Oh yeah. Like, if you're a scumbag, you should go talk to the Cleveland brass, because you're gonna wind up with a contract. Like, every scumbag who's watching this right now should just walk right to Cleveland. And go, if you've ever put your hands on a woman inappropriately, go to Cleveland, because that's where they all hang out.
All right. Well, for me, it's still in Sampson at RB 47. I think there's a chance you're getting the Browns starting running back for the year. They've told us everything they wanted about Jerome Ford, whether it was last year putting Donta Foreman over him at times, whether it was this year drafting 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds. So I'm definitely with you. on the Dylan Sampson hating or loving. Also, like I'm okay with taking JCM there. I'm okay with
yeah.
and like
finally.
I know also too, like I don't want to get this to get me canceled or anything, but I do like the show Little Bill, like I did as a kid. So like that's a pretty cool name.
I mean, it's not like an endorsement of Bill Cosby. Like that's
right.
you should be fine with that. Like, let's all relax.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah. You know how the internet is sometimes. Jacob saying, "Bro, what's up, Jake? Good to see you, man." And yeah, Ben's on us with Samson too. Yeah, let's know down in the chat below, guys, who your favorite.
Can I ask you guys something like legitimately?
Followers.
I have a question just related to running backs, real quick, and I need you guys' opinion on this. What is wrong with Deonta Foreman that no one wants him? Like, what he seems everywhere he goes, he's good. Why is he not playing?
I think good's to know. I mean, I think if you need a guy to touch the ball and eat up some clock time, I think that's Deonta Foreman.
Like he seems fine. Like he always produces.
I mean, he's fine, but he's also too.
That's the nature of the running back market, though, right? Like,
yeah, right.
You don't want to settle for fine when
but why is Najee Harris
cheaper and younger and potentially more explosive is
but
like Najee Harris is out there making a gazillion dollars with one eye, and where's Deonta Foreman?
Deonta Foreman's bro. Deonta Foreman's
he's never posted back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
He never had the opportunity.
You earn opportunity in this game.
Yeah, sometimes.
All right. Let's keep it moving here. Which preseason riser at the wide receiver position would you rather draft at cost? Everyone want to know from you. Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Egbuka has just absolutely steamed up draft boards. Currently wide receiver 34, 76 overall. Matthew Golden, your guy Eric, wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, wide receiver 41 right now, 88 overall, also going up draft boards. Keenan Allen, who enters the fray for the Los Angeles Chargers, wide receiver 55, 140 overall. And then Roman Wilson, who's going 266 overall, wide receiver 89, second-year wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Getting a little buzz here late in training camp that he might be the wide receiver 2 for the Steelers, might be lining up in those 2 wide receiver sets over someone like Calvin Austin across from DK Metcalf. So, Eric, floor is back to you. Which preseason wide receiver riser would you rather draft at cost this season?
I'll make the case for Roman Wilson.
It's clearly Matthew Golden. If you've been watching for a while, thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. He was this close to being one of my flag plants for the earlier part of tonight's program. He will be the wide receiver 1 in Green Bay, and you can't find that type of skill set and opportunity anywhere near the 90th or 94th pick of your draft very often. So go get Matthew Golden. I'm over here cracking up because without fail, Seth will find a way to weave some Steelers propaganda into every single show that Roman Wilson should
name another preseason riser wide receiver. There ain't a lot of them that we can.
There's plenty of them.
I mean, I could fire off 7 guys before I would even consider Roman Wilson.
Give me.
Ricky Pearsall.
I just talked about
Calvin
Ricky Pearsall
Ridley.
as my as a must-have a couple weeks ago. I'm not. These are obvious.
You said
ones.
A riser, and then you followed up riser Roman Wilson with overall 226. Most drafts don't go that deep.
I rose from the dead to get on this list.
That's the 80th free agent. Like that's how deep you.
Just
without someone about you. Maybe
you got to fly that Steelers flag every show.
What a riser! It's like over all these dead people that he's like being ranked ahead of. Like it's like he's slightly ahead of Jerry Rice right now in fantasy rankings as it stands.
All right, for me, it's Emeka Egbuka. I said it a couple weeks ago, but I'm still with him. It's a really tough schedule for the wide receiver 1, Mike Evans, starting off here. We know that even more. I think after that, that was before Jalen McMillan. I think even got hurt too. He's going to be out at least the first 4 weeks, maybe longer with a neck injury. Chris Godwin expected to potentially return here, maybe in the first month of the season. But I think it's wheels up for Emeka Egbuka. I've always said from the get-go, he's my wide receiver 2 in this class. I think he was the most pro-ready guy. Can do it up top and deep. He can do it on the short stuff and take him long too. So I like Emeka Egbuka a lot. Steve, round us out here. Your preseason riser at wide receiver. Apparently, it's not going to be Roman Wilson, guys. Apparently, it's not going to be Roman Wilson. Shocker and spoiler.
And I will spoil that right now. It's Matthew Golden. It's Matthew Golden. That's a easy. Like miss me with the Keenan Allen propaganda at this point. Now, maybe it happens.
How did either of these guys get on this list?
Keenan Allen, maybe it happens. Maybe
riser, dude.
maybe Justin Herbert's just like a ride or die guy. And he's just like, I'm going to feed Keenan Allen and Lad McConkey be damned. But Matthew Golden's the only guy on this list that I'm like, yeah, he has a wide receiver 1 upside. Like, he does. Someone has to, at some point, someone in Green Bay has to be like a viable starting wide receiver. I don't know what Jaden Reed did to Matt LaFleur. Personally,
it's just the run blocking again. I think it's just the run blocking. You can't run block.
That is an insane reason to bench a wide receiver for as much as he gets sat. Like, that's an insane thing to do.
But I mean, look at their offense. I mean, that's their whole offense, right? I mean, they're running the ball all the time.
I don't care.
I actually think Jaden Reed. I'm gonna be honest. Jaden Reed's like, I get the Jaden Reed frustration and hate, but I'm taking Jaden Reed where he's going. Wide receiver 47. I'm back in. I'm back in on Jaden Reed.
47. Yeah, I'm all in on that. But
Yeah,
Matthew
his
Golden,
price is appropriate, but you've got such a type, Seth. Like, Jaden Reed is Khalil Shakir. He's a guy that's on the field for a third of plays. And
Sure,
looks
but he's
super
efficient as
dynamic
heck when
he's
he
out
is.
there.
he should be on the field more.
Heck. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying
exactly.
is he's crazy
Yeah.
good. It just, I don't know. He must have called Matt LaFleur ugly or something. Like, because like he's getting that Malcolm Butler treatment in the Super Bowl. It's just bizarro land. But Matthew Golden, we covered him in a short that we put out just recently because it came off of this podcast. Eric, you hyped him up and you ran through all the reasons why he's great.
Mm-hmm.
He is everything you want in a wide receiver, and he's got that insane skill set that is hard to find, right? He is a pure, like, he is an insane speed. I was going to say he's a pure speedster. He's not. He's a really good route runner with elite speed.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Ooh.
That's
If
rare.
you want to get gassed up, go watch that preseason week 3 game. His 39-yard catch. He had to adjust his body in the air to go back and get this terrible
That's the other
ball
thing. He's a
from
crazy
Jordan
good
Love.
catcher of the football. Like, he's a very natural catcher of the football too,
Yeah.
which a lot of these really fast guys are like body catchers, and that's really concerning. He doesn't have the drop issues. He's not like a head case. He's not, by all accounts, the Packers found it. And like for the first time in my lifetime, they drafted a wide receiver in the first round. Like, Seth, you weren't even a concept the last time they did this. Like, I mean, this is insane. So, I mean, yeah, to the moon with Matthew Golden at this point.
All right, let's round it out here. Which preseason faller would you rather draft at cost? We talked about Braylon Allen as a riser. Well, the other side of that, Breece Hall, running back for the New York Jets, now down at RB 1742 overall. This is a guy we are drafting without hesitancy in the back half of the 3rd round. Well, now he's a 4th-round pick. Joe Mixon, running back for the Houston Texans. RB 31, that's going to drop even more, 90 overall. We got word he will miss the first 4 weeks, which I hate because I was drafting Nick Chubb everywhere, and now definitely not going to be getting him at as good of a cost. And then Rashee Rice, we talked about him when grading a squad earlier for someone, wide receiver of the Kansas City Chiefs. Suspension still up in the air. Not sure when and where we're going to get that. Wide receiver 25, right now 57 overall. And then Bashaw Tutin, a guy that I was very high on. I called one of my sleepers of the year coming into the preseason. Didn't have a great preseason. We've heard so many mixed reports that different running backs were taking over with the ones. We've seen them all working with the starters at different times. But now we're hearing maybe Tank Bigsby could potentially be moved, but I'm not buying that. I think it will be a 3-headed committee here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But RB 47 right now, 144 overall. Didn't supplant anyone like we maybe thought right off the go. So, Steve, which is your preseason riser that you would be drafting at cost, or preseason faller, excuse me?
Well, I want to know first how Bashaw Tutin got in with these kinds of names around him. Like, that's just a bizarro one for me. Like, he's in there with superstars, and you got like 6th-round rookie Bashaw Tutin. Fine.
Is that a picture of Tank Bigsby? Actually,
That's
is that
Tank Bigsby. 100%.
Yeah.
Kyle, what happened in the back end here? Once again, man, Google got you. The internet fooled you. Oh, no Kyle even. Didn't even turn the mic on. He's ashamed. Man.
That's brutal. I'm taking Breece Hall. I'm just going to stick to the point at hand. It's Breece Hall. It's always been Breece Hall. It will always be Breece Hall. As the infamous philosopher Thanos said, he is inevitable, and I believe in Breece Hall. Much like Joe Hendry of TNA fame, you say his name and he appears, and I believe in Breece Hall. Rashee Rice, like Eric said, 2 games, 35 games, kicked out of the league. sentenced to the
Launched into
guillotine.
space. Who knows?
Yeah, you don't know. Who knows, right? Like he could be traded to the Toronto Argonauts for all I know. And Joe Mixon, that injury is really weird. Like that's a real mystery injury, and it's concerning on a medical level that it doesn't seem like it's the initial injury anymore. It's a setback. And setbacks are really scary for running backs in general, players that rely on the way Joe Mixon plays. That's really hard on the ankle and feet. For him to have a setback, it appears, to a long-term injury like this could be something that shuts him down for the year. And I kind of flash back to CMC from last year when I warned everyone, listen, like Achilles tendonitis is not something to play with. You don't want to deal with that. It's a very, very, very difficult injury to play through. It leads to an increase in injury. And that's exactly what Joe Mixon is kind of looking like now with these injuries that are just lingering and leading to increased risk for other injuries off of that because you compensate so much for that injured leg, foot, ankle. So I'm way out on Joe Mixon. Okay. Tootin's not it. Rashee Rice has too many question marks. Breece Hall is the easy answer.
Okay. For me, like, I'm starting to get worried about Breece Hall because it's not a talent situation. It's more the opportunity. So I'll still be taking Breece Hall likely if he falls to me like in the mid fourth round. So I'm fine with it. But give me Bashaw Tootin here. I'm not going to back off of it. Like I have lowered him in my rankings. I had him as a top 36 running back. I now have him down in that RB4 category behind guys like Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon. I moved ahead. So I am lower on Tootin than I was, but I still think there's a chance that we see someone like ETN potentially move to a running back needy team by midseason, that Tootin could be still this year's Bucky Irving. So sign me up for the fastest 40 at the combine at the running back position at RB47, 144 overall. Again, there's a long list of guys who've been really great with that achievement, whether it's Isaac Guerrero having some flash in the pan moments last year, whether it was Devon Achane the year before, or Isaiah Pacheco before that as well. So I'm still in on Bashaw Tootin, or as the image below says, Tank Bigsby. Eric?
The essential question that needed to be asked is the one that Steve asked. How did Bashaw Tootin end up on a list of names that is this prolific? It is because Seth is locked into his pre-draft take of this being a
I moved him down.
He's a great prospect, but his circumstance is very, very dicey. Even if you want to project the upside case for Bashaw Tootin, where one of these guys gets traded, they probably won't at this point, but they might. He's still not going to come anywhere near the correct answer, which is Breece Hall. I know I was just glazing up his teammate, Braylon Allen. That was much more to do with opportunity and price tag. But I think both the Jets running backs are very desirable targets. This is going to be a team that will probably lead the league in rush attempts this year when you account what Justin Fields is going to do out there. And you look back to prior seasons with Aaron Glenn, at least Aaron Glenn's offensive philosophy with Detroit, number 4 in rushing attempts, almost 31 attempts per game last year across their running backs. And the Detroit Lions, in terms of pass attempts, were number 6 in target share to the running back position. So a lot of those are going to go Breece Hall's direction, and there's going to be enough carries to sustain both those running backs, even if they're in a 50-50 split.
Let's get a quick question here from Miggy. Just need a quick response from everyone. I got Chase, McConkey, Tet McMillan, Cortland Sutton. Should I try trading one of them to get a better running back? My main RBs are Jonathan Taylor and Krosky Merritt. Yes, absolutely. I do not like Jonathan Taylor. I would honestly be trying to flip Jonathan Taylor and something else and going after a more steady RB1. Can you get yourself an Ashton Jeanty if you put a Taylor and
stop at the Ashton Jeanty? No, Jonathan Taylor's fine.
Krosky Merritt is the problem here.
Yeah, I don't
only Seth could see Krosky Merritt and Jonathan Taylor, and he's like, man, that Jonathan Taylor, that's a problem.
Dude,
that guy that won you all of the best ball tournaments last year. Get him out of here.
I'm out on Taylor this year. I'm out on every Colts player besides Tyler Warren.
Trade Lad McConkey. Everyone's glazing him up way too much. Trade Lad McConkey.
Incorrect. Lad McConkey's plummeting down boards. You got to trade Tet McMillan if you're trading one of them.
No, you're trading Cortland Sutton if you're trading one of them. Do I start Worthy or Flowers at the flex? So
Worthy.
You think even in week 1?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
The Chargers have a better defense, though, right?
I don't care.
Is it? It's the upside, though.
It's the upside. It's your flex. That's what you do in the
There's going to be a lot of points in that Ravens-Bills game, I think, though. I think there's going to...
And okay,
Sure.
Trey Flowers isn't going to be the beneficiary of that. He never is.
I think that Friday night game could get weird. I think it's a weird time. It's a weird place.
Okay, well, one has to get weird, and one just has to go the way that we think it's going to go.
And I don't know how they're going to deploy Worthy if Rashee Rice is out there too. So I'm going Flowers, 2 Worthies and a Flower. Sorry, Jack.
This is actually the point to underscore. You don't have to make this decision right now. Make this decision 5 minutes before your lineup locks, because at that point we might know if Rashee Rice is in there, and that would actually change my position to Zay Flowers.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We got one more thing I wanted to get to before we round out today's show. As always, we do like to combine a little bit of feel-good lifestyle and pop culture here on the IBT Media YouTube channel with our sports. So which back-to-college movie would you rather watch? Class is back in session for most universities across this beautiful nation. And to celebrate, reminisce on our glory days, we'll answer what is the best back-to-college movie by asking the boys which movie they would rather watch. Everybody wants some. 2016. This stars Glenn Powell, Zoe Deutsch, and Blake Jenner. It's a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused set in 1980 Texas, where a college freshman meets his new baseball teammates, an unruly group of disco dancing, skirt chasing players, and they navigate their way through the freedom and responsibilities of unsupervised adulthood. And then, of course, there's 21 and Over. This is a movie where a straight A college student, Jeff Chang, has done what everyone's expected to do of him his whole life. But his 2 best friends, Miles Teller, a.k.a. Miller, and Skylar Aston, a.k.a. Casey, in this movie, they arrive on campus to help him celebrate his 21st birthday. Jeff finally agrees to cut loose, although he's got a crucial med school interview the next day. Jeff lets his pals take him for one drink. Many drinks later, he's blacked out. They get into trouble. 22 Jump Street, 2014 back-to-college movie. Although they made their way through high school successfully after an investigation at a local college, it brings big changes for undercover officers Janko, Channing Tatum, and Schmidt, Jonah Hill. Who can forget that combo? And when Janko meets a kindred spirit on the football team and Schmidt infiltrates the bohemian of the art major scene, both men have to begin to question their partnership. Not only do they have to crack in on this case, but they also have to overcome the changes with themselves and start to behave like adults. And of course, Accepted. 2006, if you're talking college movie, is there a better one than Accepted, guys? After being rejected from nearly every school he applied to, Barnaby Gaines, a.k.a. Justin Long, decided to create a fictitious university, South Harmon Institute of Technology, a.k.a. SHIT, and with his friends to fool their parents. But when everyone got the idea, hey, we're also going to apply to this university, Barnaby, a.k.a. B, he's got to find a way to give his friends the education they deserve, the future they deserve. And along the way, he's trying to get the girl next door, Blake Lively. So, Steve, a lot of words, a lot of synopsis, a lot of cast.
A lot.
You're a movie resident expert. So what do you have here? What is the best back-to-college movie?
I have a special place in my heart for Accepted. I watched it while I got my first tattoo done ever. So that was kind of nice.
That was your first time you ever watched it? Or
that was the first time I ever watched it.
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, it was 12 years ago at this point. So, or 13 years ago now. That's kind of crazy. But 22 Jump Street is the right answer here. It's the best of the movies. If you need any scene to convince you, the scene, I'm not even going to say spoiler alert because the movie's like 15 years old now. When Ice Cube finds out that Jonah Hill's banging his daughter,
that is great.
At the like parents' weekend, that's one of the funniest scenes. Watching him like go up to the buffet and like freak out at the guy who's like not giving him enough like green beans and stuff. Ice Cube can melt down like no other. It's so funny to me. I love every second. That movie is hilarious. 21 Jump Street's also hilarious. It's one of the few like comedy sequels that doesn't like suck.
Ruin it. Yeah.
Yeah. So 22 Jump Street's the answer, but I do have a special place in my heart for Accepted. 21 and Over was really disappointing, I will say.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was disappointed when I saw that.
I loved. Maybe it was because I was in high school at that time, so I, didn't have the best.
You
eye
looked
for
at it
cinema,
as
probably.
like, oh, that could be. I think I was in college, so like, and I saw it and it was like, fine. It wasn't as funny as I wanted it to be, and I guess I'm just not a Miles Teller guy.
Oh, that's so disappointing. What about you, Eric? Any love for 21 and Over for you?
Ask me about my wiener. The clear answer is accepted here because of that iconic moment and scene and so many quotable and memeable moments from that movie. It is also the namesake of the South Harmon Institute of Technology, aka shit. Shout out to South Harmon Fantasy Football and all the boys over there, all the shitheads. Shout out to Adam and to Michael, to Fizzle and to T-Rock, right? Like these guys are long-standing friends of the program, but the movie itself is on merit the clear choice here, right? I think part of this is I'm old and this came out as I was coming of age myself. Part of this is that I identified with this pack of stoners and flunkies that just tried to BS their way through. 2006, almost 20 years old.
Were you in college then? You were in college then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was out there trying to apply to the South Harmon Institute of Technology. If it was an option, I would have. Hand up.
I was a preteeny bopper back then. So like
getting a tattoo.
Fifth grade. That's when I saw it for the first time. I was 19 when I got my first tattoo, but I was what was I, 12 when that movie came out?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think everyone wants getting enough love. Like it's
getting plenty of love. Listen. You know what? This is another example of Seth shoehorning in these like man crushes he has.
It was the first day of college.
It's because Glenn Powell's in it. The only reason this stupid movie is in with these movies is because Glenn Powell's in it. Admit it.
I didn't even know Glenn. I couldn't even remember Glenn Powell was in it.
It was filmed in Pittsburgh.
Was it really?
No, I have no idea.
I bet it was.
Well, no, I think everyone wants a fun movie. 21 and over. I haven't given it a rewatch in a minute. I don't know if it would hold up, but like things like, Tower of Power and, kind of the hijinks for the sorority sisters. That was a lot of fun. I do agree with Eric, though. I think it is accepted just for how iconic that movie is. Jonah Hill plays his role perfectly as kind of, the almost the straight man in that one a little bit. He kind of plays that straight man character, which we're used to him as kind of like the funny, goofy sidekick. So really enjoyed that. And so I'll go with accepted because I think it definitely.
Everybody Wants Some, by the way, it was filmed in your state, Eric. It was filmed in Texas, Waymar, Texas.
Oh, it's set in Texas. That makes sense. Yeah. Those must be very expensive movies to shoot with that are like cast or set in like the 90s, because you got to get all the old cars and all the old clothes and everything.
Not. So let me tell you how it works, because I know this. Like, can I give you 2 seconds of how that works? Yeah. I was an extra on a set, and I asked how it worked because I was on a set that it was the 1970s. So we all had to look like it, and all the cars were there, and it was like traffic. They literally put out a call and say, hey, if you want your car in this movie, just bring it down and drive it down. And that everyone has them. So they do it for free just to kind of show off their cars. It's crazy.
Smart. That is cool. Well, you learn something new every day here on the IBT podcast. So that's what we like to do. We like to combine a little bit of pop culture with some fantasy sports advice for you. If you guys are still hanging around, please do us a quick favor. We did go long tonight, but give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. Make sure you're subscribing to the entire channel as well. We've got fantasy football and NFL betting content for you weekly, college football betting advice, NASCAR betting, PGA betting, and some entertainment betting as well, all to help you cash more and to enjoy the ride along the way. Also, be sure to check out InBetweenMedia.com for some sick written content for Eric Romoff, Steve Lawson, and of course, our guy in the back end, Kyle Scott. I'm Seth Wilcock. Thanks for watching and keep it in between. Until next time, y'all.